breaking news. The Eagles have released Devin White. What a stinking waste. Dallas still stinks. Yo, my new way, King Dingbat here, and breaking news, breaking mother humping news. The Eagles have released Devin White. What a stinking waste. That's for sure. Now, I got a lot to say about this. Unfortunately, I was home dealing with some other crazy non-channel, personal stuff that's been just crazy stuff going on. And then the Eagles released Devin White. So I wanted to do a quick follow-up from my last video. Zach Berman said this. The Eagles released Devin White. White wanted to play. Duh. It wasn't going to happen in Philly, barring injuries. He agreed to terms that would allow for financial relief for the Eagles, according to the league source, in order to be a free agent. He's now open to sign anywhere. Had the Eagles waited a few more weeks post-trade deadline, White would have been subjected to waivers and would not get to pick his destination, so timing mattered here. So the Eagles wanted to do him a favor by not doing him a favor. You know what I mean? And what favor did they not do him as far as I'm concerned? They didn't play him. This is going to go down as one of the great debacles in Howie Roseman free agent signings. Because this is a guy that's a starting linebacker a few years ago, considered to be one of the best linebackers in the league a few years ago, won a Super Bowl a few years ago. They go out, they have a chance to bring him in, give him an opportunity to revitalize his career, and they start him every practice during training camp, every preseason game he was starting, and then all of a sudden, before we got to this regular season, we don't need Devin White. He's not starting. Nakobe Dean beat him out. What? Where did this come from? Not only are we not going to play him, but he's injured. He's also, after the injury, no, he's back and he's healthy, but we're just not going to activate him. They didn't even dress this guy. They didn't dress him. They didn't play him. And to me, this is a debacle. Now, earlier in my video today, I was talking about a post that Devin White had put up, and it said something like this. Every day is a new beginning, a fresh start to create the life you have always imagined. Let go of past mistakes and focus on the possibilities of today. You have the power to shape your destiny with every choice you make. Trust in each new opportunity. Start over. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? But when you read that, my first thought was, did they cut him? But we didn't hear about him getting cut. Then I started thinking about it. Maybe he's getting an opportunity to finally play this week. Maybe that's what the post is. You came back from a vacation, because we know the Eagles were on a vacation this week. And, they cut him. They just flat out cut him. Man, I was wrong about Devin White. I really thought he was going to be a very impactful player for the Eagles. Unfortunately, I'll always wonder what could have been, because we never saw him on the field. And you can't tell me there wasn't something going on behind the scenes. Whether it's he refused to play special teams or he didn't refuse to play special teams, something more happened with this whole situation. And I just think it's a shame that we never even got to give the guy a chance to get on the field. I don't know how you go from starting every practice to starting in the preseason to you're not even worth dressing. I think it's crazy. And listen, I like some of the Eagles linebackers. I do think Zach Bond fits the system, which I don't like, but I think he shows he can play. I think Nakobe Dean's been okay. I wouldn't say great, but I think he's been all right. And I really like Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I think his time is coming, and now it may be becoming even quicker with this news of Devin White. And then even Van Ben Sumeren, I think, has some talent. So I think they have some young, talented guys. But I'll never understand the thought process with this whole thing. You signed him to a 1-year deal. You had him pretty much as the starting linebacker for all of camp. And then you just decide not to play him. It would have been different. I would have understood this and said, yeah, look, I was wrong about Devin White. He's shot. He's done. He was no good. If they played him, I would have understood if he stunk and they played him. Now, I know that and I understand you want to cut him because you want him to have a chance to go sign with somebody else and you don't want to bog him down through waivers. Well, that's very nice of you. But why wasn't he on the field? You can't tell me that we're supposed to have this Vic Fangio, who's supposed to be this mastermind defensive guy, had his own system, people copied it, and he's really good, and he does all this stuff. Yet he can't take a guy like Devin White and figure ways to use him. It just seems like a waste, in my opinion, for the Eagles to go out and do this. It does, you know. The only thing about this Devin White, I'm just glad that they did it now. Because at least I was home to film it. Otherwise, I would have been really, really disappointed. I mean, it's crazy. What a crazy day. So Devin White is gone, and now you have one less linebacker. You don't even care about if, God forbid, there's injuries and you have a guy for depth. You just let him go. I don't really understand it. He wanted to play. Let him play. Let him play. Let him dress. You can't tell me he's not good enough to dress. If he was so bad, if he was this bad, why did you not cut him during training camp? Why didn't you cut him with the 53-man roster? You know why? Because when you did the 53-man roster, you made final cuts. He was starting. It was only before the season and that time between when they made the final roster cuts and going into Brazil and going to that game, that the Eagles decided to bench him. Something happened. We don't know what it is. It's another one of those things. Chalk it up with what happened to Carson Wentz, you know, in his career and why he wanted to trade. Chalk it up to one of those things. Zach Ertz and Howie Roseman going at it. What were they talking about? Then all of a sudden Zach Ertz is traded. Chalk it up to something. Something went down. There was way more than we were led to believe, you know. And listen, accountability hopefully is coming, and it's coming for this defensive coordinator, and it's coming for this GM, and it's coming for this head coach. Because if this defense can't straighten themselves out, and they can't get shit ready and get stuff fixed by next week when you play the stinkiest team, in my opinion, offensively in the league, if you can't fix it, then there has to be changes. There has to be changes. And what do I mean by that? Because I know people go, no, you can't fire Howie Roseman. I don't want to fire Howie Roseman. I have no desire to fire Howie. Howie brings great content to the internet. He's active. He does things. He takes chances. Sometimes things work out. Sometimes things don't. I'm not even upset. What bothers me about this whole thing, it doesn't even matter that he didn't work out. That happens. What bothers me is the way that things went down. He didn't even start one game with the Eagles. We never got to see him on the field. You can't tell me there's something more to it than that. But I think the one change that the Eagles are going to have to consider going into this offseason, and we're far away from it, God forbid, but one of the things that we really have to do is we have to say, listen, Howie, you're the GM, you're the guy, you pull the strings, you make the calls, all that stuff, fine. You're going to be, deciding, and maneuvering the draft, fine. But when you do a draft board and you do your talent evaluation, we are going to put somebody in charge of that talent evaluation. So when you go to make the calls on who to pick, who to draft, your draft board that you're going to use, that's going to be the draft board of somebody else. You just follow what they evaluate in terms of talent. Because right now, Saquon Barkley, a total hit, but you went out, you signed Devin White, didn't even use him. What, he didn't fit the system? I mean, I just don't get it. Devin White didn't work out. Bryce Huff is not working out right now. So it's frustrating. I'm frustrated with this move because I feel like we should have at least seen him on the field. But we didn't. So Devin White is gone, and nobody's gonna just tell me, oh, he's just not that good. He's just not good. Maybe he stinks, but we'll never know. But he played every preseason game as a starter. Training camp, he was there practicing as the starter every day throughout every practice. Only to all of a sudden, oh, Nakobe Dean's a starter. And then you go from, okay, well, Nakobe Dean's starting. Okay, fine. Devin White, you're a backup now. No, you're not even a backup. You don't even dress. I don't know. This is one of those that really will have me scratching my head for years. Hopefully, we'll get more information out at some point. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. So now that White is gone, do the Eagles have enough linebackers? And what are they going to do about their pass rush? You got to think that this is the first of a few things to drop. We haven't found out how much relief they're getting financially. It can't be all that much money. But man, yeah, this one is one of those that frustrate the hell out of me. No doubt about it. Denzel Washington out. That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.